Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, Danielle. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for hosting while we're trying to get the Almora channel up and running for these dual lives. I'm really excited to be using these products again. This is sort of changing my weekends from lazy Sundays to super skin Sundays, especially when we're practicing. I learn so much. And we're going to do a little your favourite and my favourites for the lower face today, right? Using Almora Botanica.
Yes, exactly. So where should we start? Should we start with the mouth area maybe today? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm using it so much anyway, so let's actually activate those muscles rather than just me and you wagging your tongue for the next half an hour.
Start maybe, I'll tell you my favourite massage for that area, then maybe you show me your massage. Maybe we'll do a facial exercise for that area as well. So I've already got my Restorative Day face oil on, but I'm just going to put a little more around my lips, just because I like a little bit more glide around the lip area actually for the one that I'm going to show you. So it's super simple what I'm going to show you. You make your mouth into a slight O shape. So I never like to over exaggerate it with this technique. So it's a bit like this. So just slightly tucking my lips around the teeth. Then I'm taking my index fingers and I'm going to do this.
Can I use my tool?
You
so I can show people a different way.
Do this with a tool, 4 fingers. So again. And what this is doing, so I'll let you talk, you demonstrate and I'll talk. So what this is doing is it's strengthening and toning a muscle that goes all the way around your mouth, your orbicularis oris muscle. And as we strengthen and tone that muscle, the skin attaches, tightens and tautens and firms. So that's what the facial exercise part is doing. The facial massage part, so whether you're using your fingers or whether you're using a tool, is really great for helping to boost that blood circulation, naturally produce more collagen in the skin as well, and also release a lot of tension in that area. So I like this one because it does both. It does the strengthening, but it also helps your lips to look more glowing, plumper, firmer as well.
I love this one. And what I notice when I'm using the cold tool, it gives me more of a refreshed feeling. And the finger, you know I love this. I go feather light when I'm using my hands, which I've learned from you, because I can be quite heavy-handed even with my skin.
What I quite like doing is you can use each side here, using 2. It's quite wow. That's very nice. That cooling sensation and the beautiful healing benefits from the crystal as well. So using a tool, all fingers for that one is great. And how about you?
Well, I'm going to go old school Danielle Collins, actually. By the way, there is an opportunity to win these and your book, which you're going to show us a little bit later, right? Which we'll put in the caption when we post this. So old school Danielle Collins, this is part of the lower face workout. And I just love this one. 1, it makes me smile before I start. And 2, it's really effective and you don't need anything. So if you grew up with brothers, sisters, cousins, you've done this face a million times.
So good. So good. So maybe you do it and I'll talk about it, because it's one of the problem with mouth exercises is talking about them and doing them together is quite tricky. So what you're doing here is you're really, again, working with strengthening and toning the muscle that goes around the mouth. And as we age, that muscle can get weaker, it can get saggier. So what we want to do is take just a little bit of time each day, and it could be 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds. It doesn't need to be very long, to really work with strengthening those muscles. And we're also here, believe it or not, as well as strengthening, we're releasing a lot of tension. And we're also, with all of these exercises, helping to work with the life force energy. So if we're looking at more yoga and Ayurveda, we call this prana. If we're looking more at traditional Chinese medicine, we call this qi. And this is just about allowing that life force energy to flow a little bit more effectively around the face area. Because when that energy is very stagnant in the skin, it can show up as lines, it can show up as skin conditions, maybe spots on the skin, maybe dull skin tone. So we're working on lots of different layers here, as well as just a little bit of self-care, which is always really good.
And then for anyone who's like, flipping it, how long do I have to keep doing with the tongue? It's tiring, isn't it? It's so tiring. However, yes, it feels like a tongue exercise, but what I notice is when you stop and then you pay attention to the neck, there's the feeling of lifting and kind of like a snatch to the neck as well. So I find it helps plump out these fine lines around the lips, and it also is fantastic for the neck tissue too.
It is, exactly. And when we strengthen our tongue, we are doing so many things for the lower face. We're really helping to strengthen that jaw area. You're very right in saying it can even help the neck area. It can help our posture. It can even help our breathing. So it encourages more of that nasal breathing rather than the mouth breathing, which is so much more beneficial for the body. So one little exercise, which is just going around with the tongue 3 times one way, 3 times the other way, again, has so many benefits. It's like that multi-layered approach to it.
And you can do that exercise, you know, if you're looking after kids, kind of playing a game. And well, I did teach it to a couple of people. I worked in an office, and they'd sit at the desk doing it. It looks silly, but, you know, you get your facial exercise in at the same time. And, you know, 5, 10, 20 years later, you've not got those fine lines. You've got less chance developing those fine lines so quickly.
Definitely.
So my favourite is one of yours for the lips.
No, it's great, and you're right in saying that, you know, you can do that anywhere, when you're sat at your desk, when you're driving, because you don't have to use your hands for that, which I always think is so good. Or you could use it, for example, when you've got makeup on. You know, it's not like you need to clean your face like you do for a lot of the massages.
You just got to get over looking at a little bit or very, very silly. So what facial parts should we move on to next? You first.
Jaw release techniques, because I feel like that's an area we can hold a lot of tension in. So maybe we'll do a strengthening technique, then maybe we'll do one that releases some of that tightness and tension and blocked emotion we can get in that area. Shall I show you a facial exercise I like first, and maybe you show a massage that you like?
Yes, please. That'd be lovely.
Okay, so I might go old school as well. Maybe we'll do the smile smoother. So I like this because it's working the jaw, but you're also working cheeks and you're working down through the mouth. It's sort of a whole of the lower face technique. So you go like this, into that O shape again. And then you go from the O shape to the smile shape, still tucking the lips in. So we're going.
Where I live in Spain, I call this one the abuela, like the grandmother.
So good, about the teeth. And then, so you keep going like that. And then the part 2 of this exercise, you bring your index finger here, and we're going to do a scooping action in that smile shape, going backwards. Take care if you've got any neck issues here. So we're going, and then we're coming back down. And we'll take that again. And back down. Good. And my jaw's a bit clicky today, which is always an indication for me that I am holding a lot of tension there. So just like when you exercise the body, you're doing a strengthening and toning exercise. And what do we want to do afterwards? We want to do something to release the muscles. So I always like following stronger techniques like this, which are working with really lifting, toning and strengthening, with a nice little bit of massage or release in that area. So maybe if you show us a massage that you like, Victoria.
Now there's 2 that I want to show, but I'm actually going to show something that doesn't really look like a massage. It's fantastic for that jaw tension release, and we're holding so much tension and we don't even realize it, right? You know, you think we're holding our shoulders up at the ears, all of the scalp tension and the jaw tension, and that all lends itself to, you know, if we held this position for a long time, of course it's going to create a wrinkle eventually. It's like a crease. So you're going to take your index finger and you're going to knuckle it. And it's important that the mouth is slightly open. I'm going to get as close as I can so you can see. So that the mouth opens, and you've got the kind of hinge of the jaw here. You're just in front of that. Mouth must stay open and kind of lazy. And you're just going to pulse or press the knuckle into that space. The lower jaw must be relaxed, like just let it go with gravity. And from there, just take 3 deep breaths in. Now, this might be where you stay. You already may feel it's quite dull and hard, and my knuckle's right in at this space, almost like it's trying to create a dimple. If you want more, you can actually start to circle the knuckle into that tissue. I'm really close. Now you're not on the hinge of the jaw, you're in the space just in front, and you'll feel when you lower the lower jaw and then start to, in the tiny, tiny circles, you'll feel you're working through some tension. If you feel like there's no tension, or you feel like you could go a little bit deeper, turn the head down, and the index knuckle, I'm going to semi-stand up, the index knuckle is pushing up whilst you're letting the weight of the head weigh down. Again, another very glamorous looking pose. And you can either hold it still as the knuckle pushes up or do those circles.
Yeah,
and
really, really.
And make sure you're breathing. Don't hold the breath in any
Be
of it.
quite intuitive with it as well. That's what I always think. You know, if you think, do I need to go a bit deeper there, or actually, do I need to ease off, because it shouldn't feel painful, this, should it? And it's really
Never feel painful.
what I call gap there. You feel like a natural indentation in that area. So, you know, you're not trying to go into where it feels a lot harder. There's sort of a natural dip.
It's like in yoga, you know, the pain or the discomfort of stretching,
Yeah.
you know, it can be good for us. But as soon as you feel a pain in the joints, the knees, the elbows, that's not a stretch, is it? Right? It's a pain, and you need to back out. And we can't even see you. You have to feel your own bodies and decide, you know, when to back off or when not to do something at all. Now, I feel a difference. I don't know if you can see a difference in the side of the face, but this just feels like there's more open tissue now. So we'll do the same on the other side. Index finger, knuckle it. And so you're not on the hinge, it's just in front.
Yeah, exactly. So where you feel that sort of indentation there, yeah.
And a lot of people massage the cheeks like this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to use gloves, isn't it? Best and worst way to get a spot is touching your face, especially if we've been touching our phones.
Yeah.
So make sure. Sorry, go on, Danielle.
No, you're absolutely right. And, you know, we always talk about clean hands all the time, but it's amazing how we can pick bacteria up all the time. You know, so I washed my hands really well before I did this, but then obviously I'm turning my phone on to do the live and let you in and turn it up and everything. So straight away. So it's funny because when I do face yoga, when I'm filming it or demonstrating it, sometimes I will get a little spot afterwards, which I can get rid of very quickly, actually. Really, really, it's not anything too deep, but actually it's really worth thinking, you know, if you're doing this at home, even if you are following along on a phone, you know, maybe you're watching this live, for example, you know, just wipe your hands. You know, sometimes it's nice just to have like a warm flannel by the side of you and just actually just wipe your hands down a little bit. Yeah, exactly that. So that works really, really nicely. But yeah, that feels so good in that area there, and then just leaning down into it as well.
It's just a release that you don't realise you need until you start. But Danielle, what you were saying about, you know, because I remember when I first started doing classes, especially, you know, with lockdowns, we were on Instagram Live, etc., whatever we were on. You got your ring light. I was trying all these different facial oils, and I'd be sweaty and look greasy. The Day Radiance. The thing about all of Almora Botanica's facial oils, there are 4 hero products, hero oils. They're all very light. My favourite is the Day Radiance, particularly for things like where I've got ring lights on, where I'm on camera, because it just doesn't give me that thick, greasy film. And I don't tend to break out in a big spot. If I'm touching my dirty, greasy phone and then I start touching my face, yes, that tends to be what happens the next 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I like, because I've always been really prone to breakouts, it's really good actually, because now I know my skin so well. I know what I need to use or what I can't use. So actually, you know, 99% of the time my skin is clear. But when you know that you're prone to that, I mean, I was someone as a teenager who was riddled in acne, like absolutely all of my face, my back, my chest for years and years and years. So I know what it feels like to have acne, and it can really affect you emotionally, actually, as well. So I would definitely say for anyone that is suffering from acne, you know, it's about starting to understand your skin. I think we can get so caught up in advice from other people, but starting to understand, what does my skin need, and never feel that you're alone as well. You know, there is so many good sort of dermatologists out there and doctors that specialize, and even, you know, estheticians that are very, very good at helping you to understand your specific skin needs really, really well. But one product I do really like, and I always say to everyone, try what's best for you, but I really like the Almora Purifying Gel. And that for me, if I've been wearing makeup, yeah, you've got it now. I haven't got it with me.
Waiting for it, aren't you?
It's coming for it, exactly. But I absolutely love that. And I find when I've been wearing makeup, what I'll do is I'll apply that straight to my skin. I won't even wet my skin first. I'll apply it straight to my skin. I'll then use a wet muslin cloth and I'll start to just work into my skin a little bit. And then I'll get a clean cloth, and then what I do is wipe it off. And I find that that is really, really good. It doesn't dry out my skin, because now I'm 42, and even though I can be prone to breakouts, I've also got to be really careful not to completely dry out my skin. So what I like about that is it still keeps my skin hydrated, but it is making sure that I am literally, like what it says on the bottle, it purifies my skin.
It feels lovely going on, doesn't it? But then when you take it off, you just feel hydrated to the point where you don't actually feel you've put a product
Yeah,
onto the skin, right?
exactly.
No, I love this cleanser. It almost doesn't do it justice by me saying it's super, super simple, because it feels so indulgent when you're putting it on. But it does exactly what you need in a cleanser.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really nice. Now, shall we move on to the neck area?
Yes, and I've lost the neck area. Fantastic. After you, Danielle.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone asks about the neck area, and I think the reason being is because the skin on our neck area is very thin. So particularly as we age, it can show signs of aging much quicker than other areas. So first of all, we want to be focusing on our skincare. Like Victoria's doing here, we really want to hydrate the neck area. Then, as you apply something to your skin, doing the center, very simple, just working up. And what I like doing here, and again, take care if you've got any neck issues, but a slight tilt back with the neck, really, you're opening this whole area. And I always like thinking about opening the throat chakra and opening your heart chakra as you do this, and really focusing on your breathing. You can have your lips together whilst you do this, breathing in and out through the nose. Almost bring the tongue towards the roof of the mouth a little bit here. That's always nice to do, strengthening your tongue. Will help to tone that area under the neck as well. And then as you're working upwards, you're just helping the products go a little bit deeper into the skin here as well. So, excuse me, really, really nice for, again, boosting the circulation, bringing all the fresh blood and nutrients and oxygen up to the skin surface.
So I'm now not sure which one I want to share, because again, old school Danielle, the muscle tensor. I tell you what, I'm sure you've got it on your page, so people can find this one later.
Yeah.
I would like to do the opposite of what you've done, just to give a bit of education to people around what to choose when it comes to the neck. So Danielle, you've applied in those upward lifting strokes, because obviously with gravity, we want to lift the neck. But when it comes to lymphatic drainage and the feather-like touch, we really, really like with the hands on the sides of the neck, we can use a downward movement too, right?
Absolutely, and that's really important to do a little bit of that downward movement. And the only time I say you want to work downwards is when you're working with a very, very light touch. So we were going a bit deeper at the front neck, so we're working with lifting. But here is very, very gentle. We're going from behind the ears. We're following where the lymph vessels go down here. We're going down into the collarbone area. So with that very, very light touch. And you may even want to just do a little bit of pulsing here. We can do this both sides. And this is helping to drain any toxins out of the face here. Bring them down towards the lymph nodes. Sorry, Victoria, I jumped in on your description of your...
I love this. No, it's just so relaxing listening to you. So please carry on.
Tell us why you love this one.
I love this one because it's a really simple technique. Again, it doesn't look silly, so you can kind of get away with doing it everywhere. You can do it with the palms of the hands, and it just helps to smooth it. And you know, especially in the morning, we wake up first thing in the morning and you've been lying like that, right? And the body's been doing all this detoxification work, and the lymph carries a lot of those toxins. But you know, you do a big sort out at home, and now is the time for spring cleaning, right? You bag all these things up into bin bags. Would you leave them in the house? You wouldn't leave them in the middle of the kitchen. You want to get them out of the house, and this is how we help to get it out of the house, to reduce that puffiness, to help give this more sculpted, defined look in the face. You know, the Kardashians made facial contouring really, really popular, right, when it comes to makeup, but there are these magic techniques. You don't have to use an ounce of makeup to actually contour the face. And for me, opening at the neck and this lymphatic drainage is one of the key tools in the beginning of that. But lifting, especially in the center, and for me, I find it difficult to do this. I don't know if I'm tight, but I like to use the back of my hands for the upward strokes.
Lovely. And what you can do then when you get to the top is do some nice tapping as well. Just help to tighten that area, which is really lovely. So chin sort of parallel to the floor there, and you tighten that area. So
now,
just doing there, actually, just in case anyone was confused, I was just doing a slight alternative. I was bringing fingers behind and 2 fingers in front of the ear, just for that very light lymphatic drainage. So it was just an alternative there. I realised I didn't explain that.
That's so nice. I didn't see it. I was too much in my own world. That feels lovely.
But yeah, the tapping also is lovely. And like you say, if you want to do that sort of upward movement here, that works beautifully as well. And someone just asked the question, would you do the lymphatic drainage before any of the lifting massage? I would say in an ideal world, if you were going to do it sort of exactly to the book, you're going to do a full face yoga routine, then I would probably say yes. I'd probably say do some lymphatic drainage first, clear out those channels first, and then focusing on your lifting massage. But it doesn't matter too much. If you want to go straight and you just want to do lifting massage, you're still working with circulation, you're still working with lifting and toning everything. Or if you just want to actually take a few minutes in the morning and just do a little bit of downward stroke here, maybe a bit of pulsing on the collarbone there, which is just helping again with that drainage, or the two in front, two behind, like I was doing there. You could just do that, and that would take you, what, less than a minute, and instantly your skin will look brighter and you will have had that detoxification. But if you do that first and then get into some lifting massage, that works beautifully.
And they're easy to remember, and they're quite intuitive movements, aren't they? If
They
anyone has got any questions for Danielle, please put them into the comments. I've got a question for you, Danielle, which I can't believe people haven't asked yet, because often when we've worked with the neck, I get asked, you know, what do I do about a double chin?
Yeah, great. Okay, well, you know I love talking about this. And the reason I love talking about it is I like to really bust some myths, actually, because when it comes to double chin, people often think we can just exercise away a double chin. Now, just like the rest of the body, if we have fat in certain areas, we can't just pick that one area and start to burn the fat. So we couldn't just say, okay, we've got fat around our belly area, let's do some exercise that's going to burn the fat there. That doesn't happen. If we want to lose fat from the body, it is about general exercise, general weight loss, healthy eating, sensible exercise. However, what we can do is we can strengthen and tone muscles in certain areas, and that goes to the body, you know, that would go for the belly area, and it goes for the chin area as well. And strengthening and toning the muscles is going to help that area look more toned. What we can also do with this area is we can help to reduce some of that fluid accumulation or bloating that can often happen around that area. So we can target that area in that way. So a toning exercise and a massage, which is really going to remove some of that fluid buildup, is fantastic. So those two things, yes, you can do, but what you can't do is just do exercises like this, for example, and think that that is going to actually burn the fat in that area.
Thank you, Danielle. And that leads on to the next question. What can I do about tech necklines?
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to actually show you one which is going to help to tone this area, to help with double chin, and help to reduce tech neckline. So we're working more with the platysma muscle as well here to strengthen and tone. And it's one I teach a lot. I feel like you say we're going old school Danielle Collins techniques today. So
I feel younger.
These techniques, you know, which I designed and created and taught sort of 15 plus years ago. But many of these really stand the test of time. You know, over the years, I brought in loads of new techniques to my method. But actually, I do still teach these sort of original techniques because I think that they work so well. So this one, you bring your head back, and I'm actually going to say bring your arms back like they're big wings as well. So you're opening out through your chest area. You're going to have your lips together, and you're going to bring the tip of the tongue up and down towards the roof of the mouth about a rate of 1 per second. So it's going just behind the teeth, up and down. So it's looking like this.
I'm going to turn to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you said you can't sort of work out the neck for a double chin, for example, like going to the gym, but this one really does feel more like a gentle dumbbell workout.
It does, and exactly what that does is going to strengthen and tone the muscles, which you can absolutely do. And muscle tone does help to burn fat. You know, that's also true as well. You know, as we have more muscle, that can help that area. But yes, this really is lovely. And do about 60 of those. And what I like about opening through this area is you're helping to correct that forward posture that we can often have, which creates those tech neck lines. And people call it tech neck literally because it comes from using a computer or using a phone and going down and creating lines in this area. So it's really about that opening of that area.
I could feel that in my shoulder blades and around the bra line at the back, just doing that. So that was lovely. Thank you so much. So I can see we're running out of time. I want to tell people about the competition. I'd like you to show everyone your book for those who haven't already got it.
Yeah.
And also, it's full moon coming up. Well, tomorrow or overnight tonight, right? So now is a really good time to let go of those things that don't serve us. Danielle was saying this morning to a messaging, getting everything ready for the live, worrying that things would go wrong for it. And you know, where we really are in this place of spring, there's a lot of attention on what can I do, what can I bring in, but actually sometimes the things that are preventing us from achieving or starting a new project are that we're still holding on to some of the things that we need to let go. It's a lunar eclipse tonight, so it's that much stronger when it comes to the full moon. So if there is a little bit of time in your day today, what are the things that you could let go, that you could just drop out of your life? Easier said than done, to maybe make space for other things to come in. And that might be a spring clean. What are the things physically in your home that aren't serving you? Or perhaps what are the things that are, you know, that you're putting in your body that aren't serving you, that could be let go and put to one side, to bring space for the new. And the competition, the Spring Discovery Kit, you have the Amora Botanica pouch, the 2 rose quartz gua sha crystal mushrooms, really fantastic for your facial routine. Great for lymphatic drainage, great for tension release, and just a relaxing practice, as well as sample sachets of our hero products, which includes the sample size sachets of the Radiant Stay Face Oil and our restorative serums. And very, very importantly, a copy of Danielle's book. Do you have one on hand to show to us?
I don't have it next to me. I really should have done that, because you told me last week. Sorry, it's in the other room. I would say I'd run and get it, but with my foot injury, I'm not running anywhere at the moment. I could crutch across and get it.
I bet you can't wait to be able to walk properly. Foot surgery, knee surgery is the worst thing, isn't it?
Do you know what? I'm missing my walk so much, because that's such a big part of my routine. And actually, but I knew going into this surgery that was the thing that I would have to let go of. And actually the pause is, I'm really trying to lean into that pause and sort of lean away from frustration and lean into a quieter time. So, you know, let the healing happen.
Danielle, thank you so very much. So guys, if you want a chance to win the Spring Discovery Kit as well as a copy of Danielle's book, then in about 30 seconds, you'll be able to see this grid post. Follow Amora Botanica, follow Danielle at Face Yoga Expert, pop a comment on and tag a friend. Now, if you can't wait to enter this competition, you can't wait to get your hands on some goodies, then head on over to Amora Botanica's website, where you can get hold of the Spring Discovery Kit with the rose quartz gua sha, or you can actually get hold of the green aventurine. So you have your choice on the website, and all of the products we've mentioned today, Radiant Stay Face Oil, as well as Danielle's favorite, the Purifying Gel Cleanser. Danielle, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Have a wonderful day.
Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.